Well, Dylan, the government created the internet just like the CIA created Bitcoin, so that they can have their money laundering and their fake drug money hidden from the rest of the institution. But
that makes sense. Nuh-uh.
Yeah, guys, breaking news. Satoshi was a CIA agent. It's actually everyone that was on that group, they just took all their initials and they made a word out of it that sounded Japanese. So they're just like, yes.
You're close. It was the NSA. But the CIA is pretty close. Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, depending on who you talk to, it's going to be something different.
One of those agencies definitely did it. Dude, come on.
For sure. But anyways, guys, welcome to Collecting Keys. I'm Mike DeHaan here with my co-host Dan Austin and Dylan Cook. Dan showed up today. How'd you shoot on your round last week?
What I was
when you bailed on us.
I'm a low 80s. I'm a low 80s golfer.
Low 80s on 9? Yeah, like
on the first 9 holes.
Dude, you're definitely not low 80s.
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you what I told Dylan is like golf to me is not like I only care about it because I want to be good at anything I do. Like I want to not be like the best, but I want to do good. But like to me, it does not get me excited. It does not motivate me. Like I'm not like I can't wait to go with the boys. Like my daughter's in golf and she's taking golf lessons and I attend and go and I want to be able to take her golfing. I want her to get a baseline. Like I'm past the ability to be like, I'm going to be a low 80s golfer. Like it's just never going to happen because I don't care enough, right? It's just not something I care about, but I will go out and do it. And I do enjoy like being outside with people, anything outdoors. I have always enjoyed, but like, it's just not a thing that it gets me excited.
It just takes too long. That's always been
that's for me, dude.
So
it's
long.
Like, it's too long. I was out there for like 2.5 hours and shot 9 holes. Right. And like, that's just too long, right? And I don't necessarily need to be slugging beers when I go golfing, which is also a problem.
See, that's also the other issue is there's the 2 groups you can go with. And so if you guys missed last week, Dan accidentally didn't show up because his calendar was all over the place and he went golfing with our banker instead of showing up for the podcast.
Which I felt like was an important trip.
I mean, that's a write-off for sure.
Yeah. It's write-off. Yeah, for him. Yeah, he always brings his hockey friends with us to go fucking golf.
He brought the head coach of the hockey team.
Yeah.
And they're fucking good.
Yeah.
And they drink like 23 beers.
A lot. Yeah.
Jesus.
Dude. Oh, like not even kidding. We've gone out with them and like they'll drink a beer a hole.
This is like on a Tuesday.
But so this is also my problem with like me going golfing is there's basically the 2 kind of groups you can go with. It's either the people that take it way too seriously, which I do not, so that's not very fun, or it's people that just encourage all of my bad habits where I just get shit-faced at noon on a fucking Tuesday, right? And I don't need to do that.
No, you don't need to. It wrecks the rest of your day.
Yeah, I'm not completely above that, but it needs to be very limited. Right?
Yeah, you can't do it every week.
And I also don't need to do that in a situation where I'm now going to go back to my home with my new child, right? And I'm like, now I'm just a sloppy mess the rest of the day. Now, if I'm doing that, I want to be like on a vacation or like I'm in Vegas or I'm doing something fun. Yeah.
So Dylan, how do you do that? You come home drunk every Monday night to your child and wife, and your wife's like, "Oh, I hope golf was
even
fun."
Better. So our league doesn't start until like depending on your time slot to like 5:00 p.m. And so it does take freaking forever. So sometimes I won't even go home till past bedtime. So
do you do like a full 18 with the league?
No. It's 9 holes.
It's
every
9.
Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, every Monday's 9. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not terrible, but still, I mean, God.
Opposite to you guys, I enjoy golfing. Like that's one of my favorite hobbies to do. And so like I enjoy going to my league every Monday.
Nice. I know it's taken off by storm with young men these days.
Yeah, there's the shrink the game movement right now, which I can kind of get behind because now it does take freaking 5 hours to finish a round of golf.
So they do need to figure this out. They did that with baseball. They figured baseball out. And I do think like the pitch clock and everything has made baseball much more exciting. I saw that they made changes in the golf. Now they're going to have like Michael get like this. They're going to have like the Premier and Champions League kind of stuff. Like, so they're going to have what do they call it, Dylan? Have you heard this?
I mean, are you talking about like live golf?
No. In the PGA starting 2028, PGA Golf Tour has 72 of the best golfers. And then there's a lower tier league and you get relegated.
Oh, I really haven't seen this. This is interesting.
Each tournament is a $20 million purse for the Champions League.
So they do this with all European soccer. In fact, pretty much all soccer leagues except for North American leagues, they do this. I think they should do this with all American sports. Right? Mm-hmm. Not only in golf, but they should make it so that like the lower like NFL teams get replaced by the higher tier college teams.
That actually would be freaking sick, dude.
With the NIL at this point, it's not that fucking different. let's have like the Browns go out and like have Alabama come up.
We can't do this because I would have to get rid of all of my sports memorabilia for the past 30 years.
No, you don't. No, dude, because when your team goes down, you got to support them so they get back up, man. This is why the whole system is really exciting in Europe with demotion and promotion, is because you can be like several leagues lower and you get like a new owner that comes in. So this is what Ryan Reynolds has done with his Wrexham FC, right? Is they were like not even really a professional team. And now he had them. They almost made the Premiership last year, which is crazy. So like for context, that's like a Oklahoma high school suddenly like bringing enough people that they're going to go to like the NBA or the NFL or whatever your sport is.
Yeah, that's a lot of jumps, right?
It's a lot of jumps. And they did them like back to back to back to back, which is unheard of. But also during the season, if you get to a point where like the title's decided, there's 3 games left, it's like, oh, the rest of the season's kind of pointless. But at the bottom, everyone's like battling to not go down, then it's super exciting. Right.
Yeah.
And so it keeps it interesting.
There's no like tanking for draft players and shit like that.
No,
that you see like in the NBA and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Because it's so financially detrimental to go down. Like you get less prize money, your good players will leave. It's like a big deal. But then when you go up, like it literally shapes some of these small towns. And I feel like we need to do that because especially in professional U.S. sports, some of these like football teams and NBA teams have been so bad for decades.
Right.
Let's get rid
Browns,
of them.
Dude. Let's have like what would we call our Spokane team? Like the Spokane, I don't know, fatties.
Fatty. Well, so like imagine that, right? A couple years ago when the Zags went to the national championship, they got promoted and now we have like a professional
Would that
NBA
not be
team.
awesome, dude?
That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. I actually agree with that. So just to round this out, the retention and relegation. So the top 90 players are in the championship series, or you can get relegated to the, what is it called? The Challenger series, which is the next like 90 or whatever players. So that's how it is.
And then like the Corn Ferry Tour underneath that. And
Yeah, probably some, I'm sure. Yeah, the last chance, the fall series players who are relegated from championship series and those who just missed promotion from Challenger series will have a final chance to compete in a 4 to 6 event last chance series in the fall to secure remaining spots.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Be more exciting. Now if they can just like, I know Tiger Woods has created like a different league too. I don't know. I could be wrong, but like they're talking.
He's got a clothing brand, but yeah, I don't know.
He's the one that helped shape these rules. Tiger must be pretty awesome at golf because despite crashing his car drunk every year and breaking all of his legs all the time, they're still like, hey, could you help us like figure this golf thing out?
It's the personal brand, man.
He's got the Trump connection too, so he can basically pull whatever strings he wants. Yeah, isn't he dating like his?
Oh yeah, there's something I forgot about that.
I thought he was dating Lindsey Vonn. I don't know.
No.
And then she like tore her knee on the slope.
Her knee out.
So one of the Trump children, nieces, something. Yeah,
Tiger's girl.
See, we don't know anything about the paparazzi. We're not the people to ask for this kind of news.
Vanessa Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably one of his bastard children. She just has his name. They found out like a year ago it's one of his kids.
Yeah.
He's probably got like 100 of them.
Probably. But anyways. All right, guys. I wanted to ask you a philosophical question, which I talked about briefly last week I want to hear Dan's response to this particularly. So I guess for context, I went down to California last week. I mean, I was sitting in a TSA line, kind of sitting there, bored. And I heard like a line over from me, this question. And I was like, hey, this is a very deep question for a freaking TSA line. And B, I didn't get to hear their answer. And so I was kind of fascinated by it. And so there's these random people outside and they said, and this girl just kind of out of the blue, she goes, who do you think is happier? Someone who is the richest out of all their friends or someone whose friends are all richer than them, right? And basically her viewpoint, she started to explain it, is if you're the richest out of your friends, you're kind of at an elevated status. You can, provide a lot of opportunities for people, which can make people happy. You can kind of do whatever you want. Like you don't really have like an inferiority complex with anybody because you're the coolest person in your little circle. But it can also lead to like a level of loneliness because maybe there's no one that can relate to you quite as much. It can be kind of like embarrassing sometimes if you have like a higher status versus everyone else because you'll get like a must be nice kind of thing versus the person that has all your friends richer than you. Basically, the view is you will probably get to participate in more things than you would normally because you will get invited to sort of higher tier events than you'd normally afford. You would kind of have access to mentors, to different opportunities based off of your network. But the downside would be you would be constantly comparing yourself to those people, right? And it can be harder to be content with what you have, which can be good or bad depending on your personality. And so I'm curious what your guys' views are on that, because I would imagine we have both been in both situations or are even actively in both situations, depending on what social circle you're in at the time. And I just thought it was a really interesting question. So I don't know. Dylan, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think I'm actively in both of those circles nowadays anyways, especially like the GoBundance groups and then going to some of those things. I mean, there's people who are sent to millionaires that I could be around that. I would never thought I'd be around. And then from like my at-home friends, I'm still friends with today, still live relatively close. I'm probably the most affluent. So I don't know. It's still like a complex question where I can see both sides. If you gun to my head, like.
So let's say that you're in a situation where you have like you're going to plan a week vacation, or there's a week-long commitment that you are going to be going to. Well, there's two of them that are conflicting. You can only pick one. One is with the friends that you're richer than them. One is with the friends that are richer than you. Which one are you
I would probably choose the one that I am the richer one.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so interesting. That's not what I was expecting from you at all, actually.
Leave it alone.
It also depends on like how big is this wealth gap too, because like if your friends are like so poor that can't go out to eat like on a random like Friday night because they're saving money, that is different.
So they're going to take you on a boys trip, but you guys take the Motel 8 because they are all brokies, and like you're going to go to like Red Robin for dinner.
I'm fine with that.
So Dylan's fine with that. Really? Okay. Wow. We are different.
Wow.
So I think our snob is showing over here, Dan.
Yeah, you Pacific Northwesterners.
Hey, we have basic standards out here. You know what they say about the Midwest, Dylan? It's for people who gave up on their dreams. That's okay.
Yeah, it is.
All right, Dad, what do you got?
I have had to elevate even my wife, her like, and I've seen it now where my kids are this way because I'm just a snob, but like my wife has now elevated her expectations for things like equality. So we agreed we were just traveling this last week, and I just finally admitted to myself, and we're never booking an Airbnb again. Airbnb sucks. And I could spend the rest of this podcast telling you why Airbnb is the worst business model ever and it's trash. It's awful. It's disgustingly awful, like bad. Compared to a hotel, tell me in what situation it makes sense to get an Airbnb and not a hotel, where the hotel nearby does not provide superior accommodations.
So there's two instances. One, if you are going with a large group of friends, and you're staying in like a nice, like luxury Airbnb. Okay. So we went to...
Which is so rare.
It's so rare. Super rare. Not common. But we went to Florida a number of years ago. We went with 5 other couples. And we basically got this sick Airbnb that was like by the water. Significantly cheaper than a hotel. We had like our own private space. That was fun. The other situation, which is new for me, is we are going to Europe here next month with our 10-month-old. It's going to be, it's a baby. Yeah. And we opted for an Airbnb because it gives us the ability to put him to bed and then have our own space that is not in the room that he is sleeping.
Get a hotel suite, loser.
So, yeah, but like the difference is
the room. Get a 1-bedroom suite.
The hotel suites were priced comparably. And so instead I got an Airbnb that has a nice view.
So if the pricing is comparatively, I'm going hotel every time now.
Uniqueness, I think would be another one too. Like you get some, I don't know, like treehouse Airbnb or something, something like that. But
I guess, yeah, in that case, right?
So not only that, but it's also a 2-bedroom, so he can have his own room entirely. But I'll report back. And it's a place I've been to before, not the Airbnb, but like it's a city. So like that instance made more sense.
I cannot speak to European Airbnbs because I never stayed in one. But my luck, I mean, how many times have you walked into an Airbnb and you're like, this is not what they said?
Well, that and the pisses me off the most is like, hey, clean the entire place, and we're also going to charge you $600 for a cleaning fee. That pisses me off.
Can you take the garbage out, please? Or it's non-refundable, or it's like you can only get refunded up until the Airbnb fees. Airbnb won't refund their fees, right? And so you can get like partial. Okay. There's a whole story here, but I don't want to distract from this. I'll share it with you guys later. But what was the question?
So are you...
Oh, yeah. Poor people or rich people? Who do you hang out with?
Poor people or rich people. Doesn't have to be poor. Just like basically just less rich than you. They can still be fully capable of having money.
And you're saying which one would you be more happy with?
Yeah. Which one is a person typically more happy with? Okay. It can be you. It can be just like in general.
There's no absolute answer to this because it just depends on if my lower, I guess, income or lower wealth status friends or people are doing something cool I want to do versus like I don't want to go hang out with a bunch of what'd you call them, centimillionaires, decamillionaires, 100 millionaires,
yeah,
and like go talk about like how their family is doing awesome and you should do the same family stuff that they do. Like, that sounds stupid to me compared to like a fun boys trip with poor guys. So depending on what I'm getting out of it is when I would say which one I'd go with. I don't think that I would be any happier in one or the other because like, well, happiness is like a kind of a fleeting thing anyway. So it's like that group is not going to just make me happy, right? So I get a lot of different things from a lot of different people, and just depends on if I'm in the mood for getting certain things.
Here's a good example to this. That's personal. And I think only one of my friends actually listens to this show. So
is he a brokey?
No, he's okay.
I'm just kidding.
I had my bachelor party when I got married out in Vegas, but I was 20, well, how long ago was that? 5 years. I was like 27, 28 years old. And a lot of, especially at that time, like I wasn't as fluent as I was now. And like my friends really weren't either. And so they booked a hotel that was not on the strip of Vegas. And like, it was so fun. It was still a good time. But going back, I would have forged extra money just to stay on the strip during the couple of days that were there. But that's an example of, that was more other people's pocketbooks determining where we sit.
Sure.
Where we sit.
Yeah, it determines your experience. So, and I guess I'll close this out with my like more direct answer is, so I'm an underdog guy. So like if I had to like pick like and it's not being like the actual experience of that I'm getting, but like what it's going to provide to me, I'd probably go with people that have some sort of elevated status that I could learn something from, because I do strongly believe in like, you gotta, like whoever you hang out with the most is really who you're going to assimilate to, like whatever they're doing, right? So you're just going to. So for me, like I said, I'm an underdog guy. So that's like the direction I would go. And in my life, I haven't like sought out people based on like financial wealth, but like certainly people that are doing something I want to do. I mean, that's how I got into real estate. I literally heard one of my close friends saying he owned rental properties, and I shook his hand, introduced myself, and today I'm really good friends with him. And he taught me everything I knew up to a certain point in real estate. Like, so I think to answer that directly, yeah, that's probably where I'd go.
Mike?
Makes sense. So for me, again, it's varied on the situation. But if it is people that like I'm hanging around with on a regular basis, it literally doesn't make any difference on average, because what you're doing is typically inconsequential. And if there's a cost gap, I'll just pay for it and not say anything about it. So like as this is actually something I got from Pat Hyben from GoBundance. I went to one of the conferences a couple of years ago. His whole thing was like, if there's something that you want to do, but you know it's going to be cost prohibitive for people, just like
pay for it,
buy the tickets and then invite them. And so I've done that a lot over the years, and I literally never regret it. And it doesn't, and it makes it, there's no financial barrier. So like a good example, March Madness was here a couple of years ago. Their opening rounds, I really wanted to go, but tickets were expensive. They were like $1,500 a seat for decent seats. So I just bought 4 tickets and I just invited friends to go each night, and I got to go and see all the games. I got to have a great time. You know, people wanted to pay me back. I was like, just buy me drinks, buy me an $18 beer while we're here. That's fine. Right. And that was worth it. And that basically makes it doesn't really matter. If I am doing short trips within the US, I want to go with people that have more money than me, because that shit's always expensive, and people that have more money are more willing to do stuff. If I'm traveling internationally, I only want to go with people that have less money than me. And the reason, because most people and this is my just general network, people that I know that have more money than me, they travel internationally like assholes, or in a really uninteresting way, where they're like
try to just get the luxury hotel in every single city.
Yeah, they're like, I'm going to stay at the fucking Ritz in like wherever I go. And I'm a cultural traveler. And so I love to go with people that have researched, that have budgeted, that have like figured out like the stuff that is getting your money's worth, because I find that to be a much better experience. It's much more interesting.
That makes sense.
So I think that's very, like you said, situational, but I think the spirit of the question is do being around people that you can aspire to make you happy, or do people that you can have, that you're mentoring basically, or they can aspire to look to you, make you more happy?
That is the actual question.
I think the latter for me. So the first must be nice would piss me off, though. I'm not gonna.
Must be nice, bud.
It depends on the personalities, you know, because there's also
true.
people that you have more money and they don't care, right? And it's just something that like, it's not even necessarily a mentor and a mentee situation. There's just you just exist. Like in that situation, it is better to be the top person for a lot of people, because it is fulfilling to have those relationships where people are interested in it, versus I think it is hard to not compare when you are around people that have more money than you. You know, even if you look at like the highest level, I look at some of like the bigger personalities that are very wealthy, right? Like Alex Ramosi is a good example of this. He is a very brilliant person at what he does, but he always seems like he's so unhappy. And I think, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why do you need to have more all the time? And it's because all of his mentors and stuff that he seeks to be around are the people that, even though Alex makes, whatever millions of dollars a year, he's talking to people that make, tens of millions or hundreds of millions. Yeah. And so he's sitting there going, damn, I can only live in this $20 million freaking penthouse in Las Vegas. That's what he sold his penthouse for, by the way.
How much?
Crazy. It was $20 million bucks. I think it was the top of Aria. Remember when he posted the listing on Instagram?
That's pretty crazy.
But he's like looking at what other people have and that isn't enough. I'm like, that's a miserable place to be. But I think that's a hard mindset to not fall into if you're always around people that are.
You know what's interesting about like Alex Hormozi? I would actually like put him in the same category as like a Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan or some of these like fanatical athletes that just
He's
like
obsessive.
Yeah. And his scorecard is money, which I don't think is any different than your scorecard of championships or getting marginally better at a sport, right? Like they both have the exact same meaning, especially for the person doing it. It's like, and so you're like, man, yeah, when do you get like, when is that happiness moment,
Yeah. To that same point, you can have those athletes, they like win a championship and the second they leave that arena, they're already focused on next year.
They're practicing the next morning, 5 a.m.
Yeah. I'm like, you just did it, dude. Like, chill. Like,
that's not how they are.
It's weird now that I think like talking about like comparing your people to are like, more quote unquote more successful and using money as that barometer in this example. I'd be like, okay, they have a $15 million net worth. Oh yeah, but they're 50 years old. I have 17 years. And you talk to them and you're just like, oh, they're really not that impressive. They just did the same thing for a long time.
I mean, time is like the biggest factor in investing, right? And so if they have more time than you, of course they're going to have more money.
That's such a great point, Dylan. Like, they're just so relative, right? Like, if you can see that with anything in life, whether it's money, it's like, if you're older, it's less impressive. It's easier to not be envious. Same with like fitness, like you have like a 22-year-old that's like stud athlete and you're like, fucking enjoy that, dude.
Cool.
Like,
yeah.
You have abs, you're 22.
Yeah. They're like just hitting the gym, doing stuff like all the time. I was like, I remember when I was like you, that was last week. Now I'm 35. Like time flies.
Yeah. Yep. My shoulder hurts.
Go ahead and go to the gym for 3 hours when you have a 2-year-old at home. Like, see if that works out for you.
Yeah. Everything's always relative with it, but I don't know. So I guess like the final answer with that is obviously it depends. But I would say if we are saying outside of ourselves and we're just looking at general people, I would bet you that on average people are happier if they are the wealthiest out of their friends. Because I also think that what most people care about, I feel like 3 of us are a little bit different than the average person. I know, Dan, I know you are. Dylan, I'm assuming you are, where you don't necessarily care about like personal image quite as much. But I feel like the average person, that drives a large number of their decisions. And so for them, that neighborhood status really means a lot. And so they would want to be the wealthiest. That's why you see people that do outrageous stuff. Like they live in like kind of a bum ass house, but they have like a super nice car, or vice versa. They live in like the nicest house, but they drive like used cars that are kind of shitty, and that they're kind of house poor. But it's about image. And I think that really matters to a lot of people. So that person would typically be happier.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with everything you just said.
Anyways, cool.
I thought it was good. Yeah, no, that was fun question to answer.
Yeah, I posted on my Facebook. I've had a couple good answers there. And then hit me up on Instagram too. I'd love to hear what you guys think about that. I've been really getting into kind of just like those, psychology of like money or like the psychology of success stuff recently, because I feel like with how sort of turbulent the market and economy has been, you've seen more variation with it as people have been put up against the wall with stuff. All of a sudden what their true relationships are with their own abilities, with money, with their wealth, everything else is being put on display at both like the lower tier and the higher tier level of people, right? From like the sort of small entrepreneurs to like the big influencers that we've talked about that have been getting cooked. You really sort of see what kind of people they are once they start getting pressed.
I don't think it's bad to have like some of your, self-esteem around like a net worth stuff. I think it's important to have goals, but I think like even personally, like mine went down a lot over the past year.
I wonder why.
And like seeing what it was to what it is now. So it's like, it's a hard pill to swallow.
Oh, dude, it's brutal. Yeah. So I have sold a bunch of my properties over the past number of years. I paid a very, very significant tax bill this year. I've had a whole bunch of different things. I did a reanalysis of all my properties and stuff. And my net worth for just a couple of years ago was probably, I don't know, I think about 35%. It's like a lot.
Yeah, that's actually probably pretty close to what mine is.
Yeah. But I will tell you what, the fact that I am no longer in equity and I have a bunch of like actual liquid assets, I really don't care at all because it doesn't matter.
So I would ask you this then with, for your question, Dylan, of like reframing things. Like you said, maybe you're down like say 30, 35%. What is Bitcoin down, by the way? 30,
around like 50. So
anyways, like reframing like the idea of success, like net worth, is it comfort? Is it a comfort thing? Right. So your net worth is down and then you have to reframe like what comfort you need or like, what is, I'm just like curious of like the idea.
I don't know. Like there's a thing of being like the traditional sense, like being the provider for your family, like being the person who drives most of the income. Mm-hmm. And then I guess security would be a part of that equation of, okay, we have, net worth is this, like we're good for a long time unless I really screw something up.
But like, are you though? Like if you have no liquidity, but you have a lot of a high net worth, like your net worth doesn't buy groceries.
In that example, correct. No, I mean, in personal situations, we have ample liquidity. So
yeah, but real estate is where most people's net worth resides, right? Is in those kind of hard assets. 401k. This is the one that really gets me. You have all these people that have like, they're like 401k rich, but they can barely pay their own bills.
This is a big problem for people of retirement age. They have a house and they have a 401k and an IRA that they still can't touch till they're 65. Like, they're like, I want to retire. Be like, well, I have $20.
Mm-hmm. And everything you can't touch without like a massive liquidity event that causes additional costs, right? So like, does that provide security? I don't think so. In my mind, net worth like that is purely ego driven.
Depends on what you're doing it for.
Yeah. I mean, if you say like you're, I could sell a property, and even if you're using your conservative metrics of your sales costs and capital gains, like I could tap 100K right now. Yes, it would be slow, but you could still do it.
Right. I think you have to have layers too, right? Like if you have just a 401k and just a primary residence, you're kind of hurting if you don't really have a backup plan unless you have like, say, $1 million of other securities and cash. Like to me, that I guess would be comfort for somebody, if depending on what you're doing with it. I think in our circle, it has been over the last several years. It's changing now. People are like, yeah, I have this much net worth and it was all real estate. Right. And at that point, it's like how many units and all, there's a ton of ego metrics. And I think a lot of people were actually much more leveraged than they thought they were. And then as that equity came down, it really started showing their ass. And we could talk about big players like that, but just average guys that maybe went from a $5 million net worth to like 3 million. And of that 3 million, it's like not much liquid.
Yeah. You know what the wildest shit is that you're seeing now, thanks to like the Cody Sanchez buy business sort of thing?
Oh, that is scary, dude.
You're seeing all these people whose entire net worth is like in their business equity.
Yeah.
And not their business revenue, but they'll be like, oh, well, this industry trades on like a 7 times EBITDA. So I'm going to say that my business that does $1 million a year in top line revenue is worth $7 million. And so that's my net worth. So I'm 100% owner. That is so absurdly false in every way, But you're seeing a lot of people that are starting to sort of flout stuff like that or make financial decisions based off of this fake sort of metric like that.
Yeah, and that's silly.
That's ego driven.
To me, it's never been about like, oh, I have this much. And if I had to like step back, and the reason why I asked you the question, Dylan, is like that net worth or that wealth or whatever it's just comfort. That's all it is, just peace of mind. And to me, that relates to some level of happiness or, satisfaction that, as you start out in life, as we all were out of college and all that sort of stuff, like you don't necessarily you have a lot of things going for you. You have some ignorance and you're young. You don't necessarily have the comfort of wealth yet. And so you're always working towards like, how do I get more money in the savings account? How do I get a higher income? And then you get to a point in life where you have to reflect back and say, oh, okay, all my eggs that I'm starting to count, right? And like, okay, this is actually, what is that for? What is it? I'm not a person that's looking to go buy the newest car, the newest boat or things. I'm not an object person. Like I think they're cool, but I know me, it's like a momentary happiness thing from them. So like, that's not why I grow income or anything. It's purely just for like, oh, cool. I feel pretty good about that. I feel comfortable.
So let's have another philosophical question with that then, Dan. Let's say that you knew that when you were, say, 55, not even before retirement age, 55 years old, that you were going to get
2 years from now.
Versus like 55 years old, that you were going to get, say, $10 million. Okay. Mm-hmm. So significant, but not like so significant that like you can go and, buy an island or whatever.
Yeah.
Would that change how you view the network that you've created yourself and or how you are investing right now? If you knew without a doubt you were going to get a flat $10 million when you're 55.
Yeah, I think as an edge case, that would absolutely affect me. I think when I was younger.
Would you sit there and look at that $10 million and like ego stroke exactly the same as you do with your own net worth?
No, I think that, like, again, that's a total edge case. I think when I was younger, I would have probably taken different risks. When I was younger, knowing that, it would just been a different mindset. I think it allows, at least in me, like it would allowed me to take bigger risks when I was younger, try different things, as opposed to thinking like, oh, I need to get a job, I need to build this career because I need to be this way. Maybe look at things slightly different. I may not have had the tools. If I knew that at 25, I may still have been like, well, you get a career, you know what I mean? You build a business because you still have to have income that whole time. And I would still want things. I personally am not the kind of person though that would wait and say, I can't wait till I'm 55. I can buy the, whatever the things are that I want. No, I'm way too like personally motivated to be like, I want that shit now.
Yeah, you're not going to like just work in a coffee shop, like minimum wage, chill job because you know that you have that windfall, so you need to make money right now.
And you see that with certain people, like, I don't know, I'm sure you guys all have those kind of people in your network where it's like their lifestyle's slightly different because of, maybe a successful parent, the way that they act or react to situations. And you could tell like there's some of that. Would I have that too? Probably. But I think it wouldn't change my motivation to do things because that's just like, that would be an unfortunate thing. That would actually be a really unfortunate thing. And I think it probably hurts a lot of people that way.
If you have like that crutch, because it kills that motivation.
It steals their life a little bit. Because like, I mean, you guys know this, like the points in memory that stick out as you were younger were probably when you were like, I don't have any money. I'm going to figure out how to make this work. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, there's some pride in developing a certain net worth. And then if people, especially if people know about it, going to like the image part, that, oh, he inherited $10 million from his dad. They're like, any credibility that you might have had as an investor or a business owner gets diminished a little bit because of that windfall.
Sure. Right. Yeah. Unless you can, you do it on your own too.
But there's a lot of like, what is to that? You might not make it to 55, right? Like 55, True. Maybe $10 million is worth nothing when you're 55 because the entire country collapses, right? Yeah. Maybe it's like getting 10 million Zimbabwean dollars. Yeah. Like who knows? Yeah. So there's a lot of different ways you can view it. But
it's the old, would you trade places with Warren Buffett because his net worth is like 100 billion, but he's also 90 years old.
For sure. Yeah. Or like there's the old philosophical question of like, if you could find out the day that you were going to die, like to the year and month and everything, would you want to learn it? Right?
I don't think so.
Most people typically say no. I tend to err on the side of yes, because then I know what to prioritize on.
Sure. I just feel like I would think about it too much. It would be a mind-consuming thing.
The reason is because the fear is for people is that it's soon, right?
Sure.
But if there's also, like statistically, there's a better chance that it's going to be when you're like in your 80s, right? Or older. Like, especially for us that are younger and healthy, they're saying more people are going to live to be 100 with the advance of technology and health and fitness, everything else, right? Even though we all walk around with little radioactive boxes right by our nutsack all the day, like we just pretend like that's not a future problem. So I feel like if I found that out and it was next week, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? I'm going to go somewhere, but, or if it's something that's like, oh, and I'm 94 years old, I'm like, sweet, I can focus on my business. Like my pressure to have like FOMO is now completely gone. Right.
Interesting. Yeah. It would have to be the type of personality is like, are you going to let that date consume you or are you not going to let it consume you? It probably the average person would probably consume them if you knew the day you're going to die all the way up to that point.
Mark it in the calendar.
Yeah. I think about that. I mean, quite regularly because like I would
set an alarm on my phone.
Just like, no, like your alarm when you wake up every day is just before. One less.
Yeah.
Golly, dude.
I get like a ticker, like put it on your wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be freaking ominous. Yeah.
That would not be cool. I feel like I had like this weird relationship with death or living because I haven't in my normal life. Like some people like have like close people they lose like their parents at a young age or like a brother, sister, aunts, uncles, grandparents. I really haven't had a lot of that in my direct family. So it's like hasn't hit me. But like when I was younger in the military, like you would see death all the time. Like you would stare at it in the face all the time. And then you were also like, whoo, I almost died there. Right. Like just simple things like, oof. So I have this like weird thing of like, you could die so easily. Like the smallest thing can kill you.
Dan, do you have your estate documents set up for your family?
I've been working on it for like 6 months. And they're not
How
signed
long
yet.
have you been working on it?
Yeah, it's so long. Dude, it's the same guy Mike referred me, so I feel bad. But yeah, but you know what I mean? So I have like this weird, I don't know if it's weird. It's probably healthy. It's probably normal. But like where you like, do I want to, like, is it going to suck when I die? But then I also think like, how much of our life do we spend just falling apart versus the awesomeness of like getting bigger, faster, stronger? In like as a human, like you started as a baby and your whole life as men, probably until we're like 25, you're getting kind of better at everything. You're growing, you're full of chemicals that are just making you awesome. You don't know it at the time. You're like, this is forever. Yeah. But then after about probably 25, maybe 30, everything small, little chunks gets worse and worse. And then pretty soon you're like 80 and you're like, my body hurts all the time. And then you're 90 and then you're 100. You see some of these dudes that look like they're 100. They don't look super happy.
Very rarely.
You're like, so my whole life I'm spending it dying.
I think like when you're younger, like the young 20s, and like I would work out CrossFit like 6 days a week, and I'm sure that did more damage than it was.
Yeah,
than
it
did
definitely
good.
probably did.
Like now that I feel some of that shit now.
If you do CrossFit like I did.
Well, that's why they find fulfillment in other things that aren't physical, right? Like, that's why people get into
Sudoku.
business, Sudoku, like, would they travel, you know?
I mean, there's a good chance though, when you're 100, you don't have your brain anymore, right? Like you might have dementia. You don't know. Like, I guess at that point it doesn't matter. But
you gotta work on something. I don't know the actual stat, but like once people retire, they die like within 5 years. Like it's crazy. Something stupid like that.
Yeah. Especially like the average lifespan of a CEO is like 7 years after retirement. And that's people retiring at 55 and 65 and 70, like, because they
can never retire then.
They lose their right? They lose their sense of purpose, and they're such a significant person in their company, which is why I have like, I don't know what it would be like, just like this mental state of like, don't make your life like the significance of your career, whatever you do, is such an important part of your life.
Yeah. What would actually be really interesting, I don't know if this exists yet or not, is how that stat differs from people who have kids versus people that don't. Because I would say that the people that have children, they have like a reason, right? Especially if their kids have like grandkids, things like that. That would probably is a good motivator. But they're probably also going to, just by nature, be potentially less healthy, less financially stable. They've invested more money in their kids, things like that. Versus like the dink couple that got old and never had kids, maybe were very successful. But when they retire, what is their purpose? You know, like, where does that come from? If they aren't very intentional about pursuing a charity or something else, they're not going to have it.
Yeah.
And they're probably looking around and they're the richest of all their friends. And they're like, well, this is fun. You know?
Right. Yeah. And their friends have grandkids that they're
just
going
to bring
to
it
see.
back. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's a significance, and to me, it's like, there's no wrong answer, but I think you're more likely to regret not having children when you're older than you are to regret having children.
I think so. As someone who was never really into having kids and now has an almost 1-year-old, I will say over the last like 3 months, these are like 6 to 9 months, I get it 100%.
Yeah. It's like kind of a weird thing. Yeah.
It is so weird, you know? Yeah.
It's just something that you can't like actually describe to someone and expect them to get it. Like you just can't.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And it doesn't mean that they're going to have a miserable life without kids. I think that's a perfectly sound choice. Like my wife and I talk about that all the time. Like, man,
what if we didn't have these little shits?
Today would be way better. Like they're having fun. But for me, I think that I know I would have regretted not having kids when I was older, and you can't have kids, right? Fortunately for men, like we can just upgrade for a long time and get kids whenever we want. But like to the newer model.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. What a way to phrase that. And so I was going to add one other thing, but I want to end with that for Dan's sake.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in today. Little philosophy for you guys. We'll dive some more into some business things next week. But hopefully you found that interesting, because I enjoyed that conversation. So thanks for listening, everybody. We'll talk to you guys next time.
See y'all.
See ya.
This episode is sponsored by Sir Lancelot LLC, also known as SLA Capital, which, if you didn't know, is Dan and I's private lending company. So yes, we are sponsoring our own show, but what you going to do about it? It is our private lending company that offers hard money and DSCR loans to real estate investors of all types. So you can be a new investor, an experienced investor. You can be buying flips. You can be buying rentals, whatever. We can do everything. And not only that, but the rates that we offer are just as competitive, if not cheaper, than pretty much every other company out there. So whatever big company you've been working with, bring us their term sheets and I guarantee you that we can probably beat it. We have the same connections they do. We just don't have all the overhead and middlemen. So if you want to come and check us out, go to slacapital.com/keys and I will know that you came from the show. And by seeing that you came from here, when you get to closing, you will save $500 on your first loan with us. So slacapital.com/keys, we would love to fund your next deal. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you want more from us, you can shoot us a follow on Instagram. I am at Mike_invest. Dan is at InvestorManDan. And Dylan is at Dylan_does_deals. Shoot us a follow and send us a DM to let us know what you think of the show.